everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I've been thinking about worship. I've been thinking about what worship is and the idea of worship. I feel like, and I could totally be wrong with this, I get that I could totally be wrong, that a lot of people, Christians and non-Christians alike, don't fully understand what worship is. They don't fully understand what worship is and how powerful it is if we equipped it to our lives. A lot of people assume worship is just singing old hymns full of these and thys. I've been in church for 18 years. I still don't get what these and thys actually mean. And a lot of people think that is it. Because of ideologies of churches and hundreds of years and ideologies of society, this is seen as very boring. Worship is seen as singing boring old hymns in an old church, cold church, and that is what it's seen like. So everyone today doesn't understand the power of worship because they're not attracted to it because they don't see the definition of why they do it, if that makes sense. So first off, I wanted to figure out exactly what worship is. So I looked up the definition. The feeling or expression of relevance or admiration to a deity. Deity. I don't know what that word was and I still don't know how to say it. So I searched up deity and the deity is a being of supernatural as divine or sacred. So in our context, we're talking about God. So deity is God. So we put God is a deity into the definition. Worship is the feeling or expression of relevance and admiration for God. So I feel like when we're looking at this, there's two main questions I want to answer. Why do we worship and what is worship? So the why. Why do we worship? Worship isn't about us at all, but it's completely for our benefit. See what I'm saying? Think. Just wait. Hold with me for a second. God up here, he doesn't need our worship. He is divine, he is incredible, he made the whole earth. He doesn't need a small little person going, what? He doesn't need our worship. He's perfect. But we need to worship him. It's the action of acknowledgement of what God is doing in our lives and thanking him for that. It's about taking our focus away from this world and onto him. So we're stepping out of our worries, our pain, and looking to him for his love. It's that acknowledgement, it's that action of what is worship. God doesn't need that, but we need that so desperately. So take a step out and a step into his love. So I heard this quote, and this is so fitting to this. Because what consumes your mind controls your life. This quote is so true. If our whole mind and whole consumption is worldly things, that's what's going to consume our lives. But if we're taking a step out and looking to God, our whole consumption is what God is doing, what God wants to do. And that's more powerful. Think about it practically. We all have a phone and a charger, yeah? So the charger doesn't need the phone's attention, but the phone needs the charger's attention. For the phone to fulfill its whole purpose, it needs the charger. For the phone to fulfill its whole purpose, it needs to take a step back from its purpose, from its daily life, to plug in and be fulfilled, be refilled. Because once it's been refilled or charged, it can then fulfill its purpose. If a phone never goes back to its start, if a phone never goes back to its charger, it will never fulfill the purpose it's meant to do. In this situation, we're the phone. If you get, we're not the charger, God's the charger, worship's the charger, we're the phone. We're Nokia. If we don't take time to step out of our lives to worship, if we don't take time to step out of our lives to draw our attention away from earthly things and into the charge, into God, our whole consumption will be about earthly things. Our whole perspective will be so small compared to the perspective God can give us. We need to draw our attention away from earthly things and away to him. And that's the action of what worship is. Taking a step back of your life and taking a step into his life. Does that make sense? It's about drawing our attention and looking where the perspective is. So now, what is worship? Worship is whatever you want it to be. And before you go, what? I can worship in the toilet. Before you say any of that, let me just read this. Romans 12, 1-2. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in the view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of the mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is. His good, his pleasing, and his perfect will. So it's an offering up to our bodies to God. It's going, God, I'm giving my body to you. That's what worship is. It's going, God, your will, your way. Where you want me to go, I'll go. Who you want me to speak to, I'll speak to. Your life can become your worship. You're offering up to pleasing to God, serving his will. That's what worship can be. That's what worship can be. The question from this, what I've been asking myself when I've been writing this, it's all parts of my life worship and pleasing to God. Is every part of my life honouring God and worshipping to him? That's the question you should ask yourself. 1 Samuel 15:22. But Samuel replied, Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice. To heed is better than the fat of a ram. So singing, serving, mission trips aren't worship. They can be acts of worship, but them alone aren't worship. You can be doing all these things and be thinking about yourself. You can be doing all these things and not actually worshipping God. If your heart isn't in the place, it is not worship. But if your heart is in the place of honouring God and looking to Him, anything can be worship. Because it's about where your heart is. Anything you do, from singing, from dancing, from creating, from talking, from writing, from working, if your heart is in the admiration of honouring God, of seeking God, of going your will, your way, anything can be worship. And that is what worship is, and that is why we worship. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe in a bit.